All right, good morning. It might be back to school season for most, but 3 short months ago, 30 million children looked a lot like this. They probably had the last day of school circled on the calendar, maybe a little countdown going, and that was the start of summer and freedom. But it's a different story for the caretakers and the parents behind the scenes. We surveyed hundreds of parents about what it was like to plan for summer. The 2 top emotions we heard in our survey, dread and anxiety. The calendar doesn't start on summer planning when school gets out. It starts well beyond, on average, probably around January. Your holiday decorations might still be up, and you are having to think about summer. One parent even called it like the Hunger Games. Some of these registrations are no joke. It's a complicated puzzle, and we're here to solve it. But here's why the current solutions are not working. Like, what are parents doing today? Finding camps, there's tons of options. They go to Facebook, they go to Google. How do you even keep track of where your kids are going? It's a combination of electronic calendars, paper calendars, maybe if you're handy, a spreadsheet. And then how do you coordinate with other families, right? Like your kids want to go where their friends are. Maybe you have a Google spreadsheet. That's about the best we've got that we used to use, my co-founder and I. And then the coordination. If I'm on another group text message, I don't know about anybody else, it's a lot. So it's a mess, and there's no one place that solves these problems. And it's a big market. There are a lot of people. 30 million kids equates to about 20 million parents. And we're talking K through 8, those kids that still need care and structure in the summer. And I mean, even just a small fraction of this market is a meaningful impact to families that are feeling the pain of this problem. And this is where Summer Sanity comes into play. Our solution is enabled and powered by connection. So what you see here is it's a calendar. Nothing maybe looks a lot like your Outlook calendar, but the magic is along the top here. So it's not just my kids, which you see highlighted here in our beta that we launched this past summer. I can see what other kids are doing. So even when I find a great camp, the next thing I'm going to do is go talk to another parent. This saves me the text and the outreach. It puts it all in one place so I don't feel so alone. If I have an empty week, I'm not going to Google. I'm saying, oh, where's her friend going? It gives me ideas with people I trust who vetted where they're going. So where have we been? Megan and I founded our LLC in March. By May, we had a beta product, built web app, scrappy, bootstrapped, and we got it out there to 200 plus families. They entered over 1,000 plans, and this spans 6 states. We're not geographically bound. We are in the process of designing the next wave of this. We know parents start planning early, so we want to meet them where they are. And we have a go-to-market plan ready to go. And down the road, we do get the question, okay, summer, Megan, that's like one season. Hopefully you're hearing, for parents, it's not just 3 months, the planning. But we do see this becoming something that can be used beyond just summer activities. So we've already bought the domain, Sanity, and are in the process of trademarking that. So who else is doing this? This is a problem out there, right? Like there have to be other people looking at this problem. Our direct competitors in the summer space are down here below, and they're really looking at aggregating care. So taking all that's out there, making better, marketplace, kind of finding the care. I'm still overwhelmed as a parent, right? Nobody is getting that intersection of scheduling, collaboration, uniquely like we are. And then how are we going to attract customers? Everybody's seen a marketing funnel before. Nothing super magical about it, but I do want to point out the organic growth potential of this platform. Parents talk to parents. This is the kind of thing, especially if you've ever been in a Facebook group with moms, it gets popping. So we feel like that is our most powerful channel for growth for the platform. And how are we going to make money? This will be a freemium offering. We will offer a premium subscription. We will also have advertisers, so bringing in partners who want to target that parent audience, a very, very important segment that people are interested in talking to. And then down the road, we see the power of AI coming into play in terms of how we match. We're going to have a lot of data about kids, their parents, and that is really valuable, and we feel like we can help meet parents and kids where they are. So far, we've bootstrapped together about $25,000 between my co-founder and I to build the platform, the beta. We have 40,000 that we've raised pre-seed via a safe structure. And we are looking to get to 250 this year. We believe that'll get us a platform that is scalable with all the infrastructure and required privacy behind the scenes to make this happen and be sound and something parents can trust. And a little bit about my background and my co-founder. We met in daycare. We met in daycare where our daughters were 1 year old and our sleep might have been, hard to come by, but care was year round. When we were the creators of the Google spreadsheet. I might be dating myself with this reference. I'm an elder millennial, but we're like yin and yang. She's kind of the marketing creative brain. I come from more of a tech marketing or tech and sales operations background. So we feel like we bring a great combination together and a ton of passion for this. So in closing, we're not here to bring just another parenting hack or throw another app at this problem to save parents time. We actually want to connect parents together. We live in a time where loneliness is an epidemic. Parents can be the loneliest of all despite being surrounded by little people. So my question to this group is, how do you want to help parents bring back sanity to planning and help us do that? Thank you. Oh, yep, okay.
That was awesome. And you let us off. And that was so hard to do, but you did it. I'm curious, how many of you are parents and camp planners? A lot. Okay, so this pain point really resonates. I'm also the keeper of the Google Sheet and have experienced these pain points firsthand. I have a column for which friends are attending the camps, and so I am trying to solve for this. So this definitely meets the need in my life, and it looks like more broadly, just from the sampling of this group, that would be a fit as well. I think it's so savvy that you're moving beyond the summer branding, so it can be that more broad-ranging solution, because camps go into the fall and breaks and winter breaks, right? It's all of it. This pitch deck was great. It was really nicely outlined because you teed up the problem. I also really valued how you showed the MVP planning that you brought these families on. I'd be curious what you learned and or discarded in that time and what you're going to focus on as part of that next 250K play. So, but those are just some of my questions, and you probably have feedback, but do we want to give a chance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. Okay. So, we actually learned so much. Our research actually began before the beta product. We were starting to build our beta product, and we sent out surveys in various atmospheres. Hundreds of parents replied. Some of the biggest pain points, as Meg stated, and that this wasn't necessarily a learning, but it was a validation, that connection was key. I don't go blind searching. I'm calling friends. So when we were building our beta and as we move into MVP, keeping that connection point easy, streamlined, and a place where they want to do it there versus their personal email or their text messages or what have you. So that was a big, I would say, validation, not really a learning point. Another learning point was Sanity. When Megan and I first started this beta, we were focused on summer. That is the biggest pain point. It's 3 months that parents have to figure out week by week. As we were moving through this and as we launched the beta and then got feedback from the beta users, then they started coming in with, well, I get ideas from my friends for after school stuff like sports and music and theater. Like I know I do that. What's your kid doing? My kid's bored with this sport. What are you doing? So I think that was the biggest learning for Meg and I, is to realize we had to come to Jesus that said, okay, maybe not when we launch MVP, when that's, let's cover the biggest pain point and get that out into market, which we're targeting for January. But that's the learning point, was Sanity and creating that and understanding we have to have this in our roadmap.
Well, I'll echo good job going first. That's always the hardest part. And then I'll just say, look, my style is just going to be to give a whole bunch of feedback because we only have so much time. I think, so overall, I think is a good presentation. Everybody that's a parent pretty much gets the problem, I think, pretty quickly. You hit on most of the points that anybody wants to see. I think there's an opportunity to potentially take a step back and rewrite the story. Sometimes what I tell people to do with pitches is start by writing an outline of 15 sentences that tells a story from start to finish. And that's the best way to pitch, because then you'll recognize, wait a second, I probably should tell this a little bit sooner. Sure. So for instance, team slides all the way at the end, but that gives me a ton of credibility. You say, look, I've had little kids, I've lived through this, we have technical background, we have marketing background. Now all of a sudden I go, okay, well, they've lived it. So now I'm a little bit more open and receptive to the idea that you've come up with a solution to solve your own problem. So I think maybe bringing that up a little bit sooner. One thing that I didn't necessarily get was a very clear definition of what the solution is. So I totally understood the problem. I generally understood why the other things don't work. I think I didn't get enough product in there. Like I would have liked to see the product flow a little bit more, because then that would help me go, oh, that's the thing that's missing in my life, right? Like the way that it was laid out was a little challenging for me to say, oh, I see why this is the solution per se. But I thought that, generally speaking, the other thing so what I do love is I like when people talk and don't read, right? You are not giving a presentation. I can't stand when people give presentations, honestly, because that's not the point. The point is to compel me to take another meeting with you. And that only comes across when you know it so well that you're just telling me about this great opportunity. And that's clearly where you're at, as opposed to reading to me a business case that you've kind of built up. So I think you did a good job pulling in the personal. I think a little bit of a mixture of like maybe a little more visual to word just when you're doing pitches. I always say you have a pitch deck and a leave behind, something I can read that has more words, and when I'm pitching, don't distract me with words. But look, and the last part I'd say is maybe a slightly better breakdown of the competitive set. So I saw like this wheel and sort of how it goes in, but I really wasn't sure, maybe feature set or something that I was having a hard time really understanding that was in there. But look, overall, I think it's a great product. People get the problem right off. So there's nothing better than pitching something that everybody already understands is a problem. So you've already got them in. Pull them in with the I've lived this. This is what I learned. This is how I tried to do things and why I built something to solve my own problem. Give me a little bit more on the product side so I can really sink my teeth into why I should probably take a look at this. Otherwise, I think you have, and then maybe just do that outline of the story so that you tell it in a little more flowing fashion. But most of the stuff's in there. So great job.
Yeah, I was one other item just to consider for the future. It's a bit buzzy word, right? But youth sports as well. So beyond just the calendar, one concern would be aging out, but then the youth sports market, if you can tie into connecting that component. It looks like you've already thought of that. Okay.
Yeah. No, we didn't have a chance to get there, but absolutely. Like Game Changer is one. Meg and I just both happen to have kids that play baseball, softball. We've seen that done really well. We're taking a lot of learnings there. But yeah, it's definitely something on our radar in terms of where do you connect and capitalize on that. That is what pulls parents in a lot of different directions during the school year. So it would be helpful to keep in mind as we go year round. It's a great point.
What I like about the fact that you say this as well is, my mind goes to where this could end up. And I like that you're beginning with, this is where we need to start. It's moderate. You're not like, we're going to go, drink the whole ocean right now.
Yeah.
Because in and amongst these, even youth sports, it's, well, then how do I get them there? And what parents do I know that are near me? And then the logistical challenges. So this could continue to grow and go. The other piece on the competitors, I was curious because Google Calendar is, one place that we use, and folks are going, why do I have to pay for something else? And as a subscriber to, some of the other solutions, it's still not all. I think that this has the potential, but I would be curious about how you're sure of that differentiation, given some of these other businesses have a running start.
Yeah, I think it's the sharing. I think it's that's how we've answered that question before, is you don't want to share your whole Google family calendar, right? You've got doctor's appointments on there, whatever. It's a way you can kind of have that Outlook sharing that you do at work, but with other families. to the things that are relevant is how we're thinking about it. And we think that could be a value, but it's a great point. Thank
Well,
you.
and I'll add to that sharing component, as I know everybody in here raised their hand as parents, but as a parent, right, and especially when you have multiple kids, you have the school parents that you connect with, you have the baseball parents that you connect with, and all these different groups, right? And so I was finding that when I had a Google sheet, I'm like, well, I don't want to send, I've got all this information here from the baseball parents, but I don't want to send that to this other group. They don't even know each other. So am I going to create another tab? So to Meg's point, at minimum, this is a Google sheet on major steroids, at minimum, and it's free, right? So, and that's just the base of it. And then, of course, as Meg said, you move on, there's other features and benefits they can leverage that they don't have.
Thank you so much.